this moment, Doug, I'm living the dream. This is the dream right here.
Horses have two sides to their brain, so usually if you walk up to them all, when I introduce one, we always introduce yourself to a horse. At least I do. So,
Yeah.
and then if they're boys, between that upper room and this lower room, we have to castrate. They have an appointment.
I'm not doctor appointment, right?
Oh no, it's not a doctor's appointment.
Oh, no.
It's Camp Freezer. Yeah, they're gonna go visit the butcher.
The
Just for a day.
The Grim Reaper is going to come
Go
visit.
visit the butcher just for a day.
Just for a day.
Yeah, just a day.
Short visit. Hello. We are Tavon and David from TD Adventures. In today's video, we are exploring and learning about SonRise Grass Creek Guest Ranch in Thermopolis, Wyoming.
I want to take you out, show you the time of your life.
We drove past an oil field before making it to the ranch.
I want to figure out what it takes to give you everything you desire. I want to lay
We made it to the ranch.
I wanna lay beneath the stars with you in the back of my truck. I guess that this is what they call love. Baby, you've been driving me crazy for so long now. I've been waiting on the sidelines, praying
This is the spot where we will be staying for the night.
for the right time to let you know you're all I ever wanted and more. I wanna level that.
Check out the view from the dining room. Dinner is hot beef stew, scones, and cheese. After mentioning that we like to do videos of our travels, Doug, the owner, was so gracious to give us a tour of the ranch.
Hello.
Ready to get going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We'll go over to the 1897 cabin. I'll show that to you. It's kind of neat.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Well, this was the original homestead for Grass Creek, and so it was. We think it was built in the late 1800s. We're not exactly sure of the date. It says 1900 on the sign, so we don't think that's accurate. We do know from we went to the historical society and got to see the original homestead documents that were signed by. Well, they're not originals; they're copies of the homesteader certificates, and those were dated in the late 1870s. So this was originally settled by the Robbins family, and then the Robbins family bought it from their in-laws, and so it changed last names, but it stayed with the same bloodline. And it stayed that way until we got here. We were the first ones kind of out of that bloodline, but this was restored in 2004. It was originally located about 600 meters that way, down by the creek. But it's basically it's essentially an old log cabin. They put a new roof on it. You can see how that's all new. But these logs are all original except two of them on the other side over there. And it sleeps 4 comfortably.
Wow, look at that, huh?
But they would have had a whole bunch of folks crammed in here.
Wow.
So yeah, you can rent it out, and it's kind of cozy and neat and pretty cool.
Wow, look at that. This is the first time I've been in a
It
cabin
does
like this.
like a cozy little space. Yeah, it's super silent. That's what's unusual about it. It's very quiet in here.
And what do
because the
they
walls are
what
so
do they
thick.
use between the
That's
woods?
it. It's just log, and then this is called chinking, and it used to be mud. The new stuff, when they do restorations on these, it's kind of a rubbery. You can feel it has a flex to it.
So it can expand with the
Yeah.
heat, right?
But it's the downside of that is extremely airtight, and so we've had moisture problems in here because there's no breathability. So we have to leave the window open throughout the winter and that sort of thing. So they put it on a raised concrete bed. It would have been built on rocks or something like that when it was original. We like this door because it's got Greg and DV and all these names carved in it. It's pretty neat.
These are all the people who live
I
here.
imagine just over the years, this is probably
Yeah.
one of the older buildings on the ranch.
Yeah.
And here we have
Whoa! Look at that.
So these are what we call Easter eggers, and they are laying hens, so they'll lay multicolored eggs. And what they do is they brood in here. We buy them in the late summer. And they brood up in here. They'll brood up in here until they get their feathers. And then we'll eventually start to acclimate them to the cold weather. They'll stay in most of the winter. And then in the early spring, we put them in a mobile hen unit that has egg places for them to lay eggs. And then every day we move that around, and it cleans up all the manure patties on the ranch. Because they'll go after the manure looking for the bugs. So we don't have to have any pesticides because we can just use our chickens to do that.
Nice, yeah.
So these are laying hens, and then this big white one right here, that's a meat bird. And he wasn't feeling well, so we brought him in here from the field. They normally stay out in the field.
Oh.
So this was a nice warm place for him to come while we got him feeling better. And he's looking like he's doing okay, so we're going to move him back out. Smarty, he's a roping horse. Well, we use him to cut cattle. So we'll use him in the. Well, he does everything actually. He's a
you
mountain
mean like
horse.
roping? You mean like throwing rope, that kind of?
Right, yeah. So if we have to drag calves, it's called dragging calves or branding or whatever. So he does that. He's a big, stout branding boy. Yeah. Riata's more of a cutter, although she went in the hills with us just the other day.
What is a cutter?
She goes in and actually separates off a calf from a cow. So that mother-son-daughter bond is really strong. So if we need to get a calf alone, you usually got to get a horse to get a calf pushed away from its mom, and you use a horse to do it. So she's a cutter. He'll cut too, but he does kind of all around everything. But he's a very good roping horse. He knows what to do when I'm roping a calf. He'll know when to pull and when to stand. And he's actually better at his job than I am in many ways. So it's good. That's why he's called Smarty. He's super smart. Horses have two sides to their brain, so usually if you walk up to them, we always introduce yourself to a horse, and at least I do. That's what we do. So I don't just walk up and throw a saddle on you. I walk up and say, "Hey, it's me, remember?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's right, you're my buddy." And I'm going to carry you around on my back for 2.5 hours. But I'll usually walk up and let him smell me from the right nostril and the right side of the face, and then I'll walk around and let him see me from the left side. And that way they can get they'll get a full understanding. Because they kind of have a separation in their brain. So like when we're training a horse or we're working with a horse, we'll always do something on the right and then something on the left, something on the right, something on the left.
Interesting. Learned something today.
Boots in the barn there. And you can see they're smallest on the left, biggest on the right. You're welcome to go in there and try if you want. You want something that'll slip off pretty easily. So if you look, you can see my foot will come right out of that.
Okay.
And that's if you get a stirrup caught. We can dump you and the horse can run off. That's the idea, because the worst thing you want is to be drugged behind a horse.
I like the plan.
All right.
Great.
Yep, if you can. You got those Loretta Lynn red boots, huh?
I know, huh?
That's good. What I'll do is we're going to have you put your arm right here. So I'll have you put this part into your armpit, and then you'll hold your palm straight up. And we want to measure that in terms of how you should put your palm straight up on it. Actually, that might be pretty close. Let's try that, okay?
Okay.
So the way this will work is we'll have you mount up here, and then to measure the correct length of these, we start off with the arm. Because that happens to be the same length you need for your legs.
We just learned something.
Yeah, some cowboy figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah, how about that?
But then what we're looking for is we want it so that if you stood up in those stirrups, your butt would come off the saddle about a hand width. And you'd be kind of standing in midair. So that's what we're looking for in terms of the height. If you can't do that, if you push down on those stirrups and your butt doesn't come off the saddle, then we need to shorten them up. Likewise, we need to lengthen them if you come off that far. So that's the first thing. Good old ranch horse. So he's very calm.
That's what we want.
We're going to put you right here. the best way to do it, I'm going to hold your horse.
Okay.
The best way to do it is to just come up, put
leg.
this leg in first,
Yeah.
and then you sort of step up and throw yourself over.
Do I hold
So you're
it?
going to swing your right leg over. There you go. And then the first thing you want to do when you're on the other side
Yeah.
is get that foot in that stirrup.
Oh,
So
they both are
Definitely
too
short.
long.
Or definitely too long.
Too long, yeah.
Okay, no problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust them. So all right, so what we're going to have is we're going to have you hold the reins, and I'll show you how to hold them.
Okay.
You want them always ahead of the horn, so the reins never want to come back here.
Okay.
They always want to be right here.
Okay.
And the best way to do it is what I call the ice cream cone.
Like that? Okay.
So you just hold, that's correct. So if he doesn't do what you want to go ahead and add pressure, because he's going to, there's a bit in here that rotates and it pushes down on his tongue.
Oh.
So if you gave him a little bit of stop and he decided, oh, this lady doesn't know how to stop me, I'll just keep walking. You can go, hey buddy, you're stopping. And he'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm stopping. You don't want to jerk because you can actually sever, you can hurt their tongue. But you can apply that slow, steady pressure until he's ready to go. Okay, I'm going to do what you say. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Go ahead and drape those reins to one side or the other. There you go. And come back to me.
Let's just say that for today, Tavon just wanted to ride a horse. The learning how to command a horse will have to be on a different day. Until then, she is just happy to be led. At least a little bit, I will. You guys look good.
There we go. Now we're world famous, right? We recommend you hold on to that on your reins and let that horse take you home. He or she's going to pull it.
Oh, really?
If there's a real freak out session. Now we've walked right by bears before and not had an issue, but if a bear charges, the horse is going to pull. There is an off chance, a very, very off chance, that if the horse bolts and you're not paying attention, so a horse can say, for example, turn towards David and pull, and if that happens and I'm not paying attention, I can come right off of him. Now we've got a problem, because we have a human standing on the ground and an angry bear and no horse. That's what the pistol's for. So it's a last resort. Most people see it and they think, oh my gosh, you're going to be shooting stuff while we're on our horses? No. It's a dead last resort of, man, we've got no other choice.
So they are bears here, huh?
Yeah, I don't think we can outrun a bear, and the other guy says to the first guy, well, I don't have to outrun a bear, I just have to outrun you.
Yeah.
That's not our theory here. If something happens, we'll stay. Okay, so from here we can go down this trail.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty nice ride, but we'd be out for about 40 minutes and it'd be pretty hard for David to follow us.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of go up into this little draw, which is a pretty neat rock formation. That would be much shorter, but you've got an hour, so. And we kind of start when we're on the horses, not when we're getting all the saddles and all that good stuff. So we have plenty of time, so it's up to you.
What do you think, David? Do you want us to be with us? Go up here?
We should go off for an adventure.
Well, what about you? You coming?
No, I'll just head back and
Pretty hard to walk.
I'll keep an eye out for you coming back.
Plus, we're gonna be moving faster on horses than anything can walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be pretty
You're going to go back?
Yeah.
Back?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for when you're coming
Yeah,
back.
you'll see us coming.
Okay. Well, do you want to walk fast so there's no bear is going to chase him?
No.
Now you put the fear of bear
The
in.
bear lecture
Yeah.
is it's so unlikely, but I do want to say it. So it would be like you guys had a double flat tire and your engine blew all in one day.
Yeah.
Pretty unlikely.
All right.
Okay. So.
Now you go way up country, it's pretty likely, but
Yeah.
not here. We just tell you that just in case something happens. That way we're kind of cut. Oh, I know it's tough work.
Going up higher.
At this moment, Doug, I'm living the dream. This is the dream right here. I call it busy living. ever seen that movie Shawshank Redemption? You either busy living or busy dying. Well, this is busy living right here.
Going around obstacles.
Oil field rig stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is still your land? Until that fence right there?
Just beyond that.
Oh, wow. How many acres do you have here?
This is 840, but we use about 920.
Would
we have a little extra.
You mean 840?
840 acres.
No way.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
That's not big.
That's not big?
No, our neighbors are 56,000.
No, wow.
Yeah, and their neighbors are 440,000.
So
So we're like
man.
the tiniest ranch here, but we only have, it's like, there's like 12 people that live here.
Yeah, yeah.
Super small community. Yeah, I lived in Rhode Island when I was stationed there in the military.
Yeah.
You're in the Navy? I was in the Marines. Marines, yeah.
Getting closer to the cave.
So these are the caves, we call them. You can see all the way up there.
Yeah,
You go straight up again. They're pretty neat.
yeah.
Over there is the cave. View from the cave. Heading back to the ranch.
What is that on the ground?
That's probably a deer. Looks like a deer.
How many days old is that, you think?
That looks like it was last night. Or the day before.
Eh,
That whole circle of life thing.
that's right, yeah.
It's all the time out here.
Now we are on the topic of the circle of life.
These guys are super, super chunky. And we like them to be nice and fat. They're not exactly 200 pounders, but that black breed tends to be a little bit smaller, but that Chester White's pretty big. So they were born here, and then they go out to pasture for 6 or 9 months, and then they come back here, and then they have an appointment. I think in about a week, so that's why we brought them back. So they'll hang out here until we can get them loaded back on the trailer and taken to town.
An appointment. What kind of appointment? Not doctor appointment, right? Like,
Oh no, it's not a doctor's appointment.
oh, no.
It's Camp Freezer. Yeah, they're gonna go visit the butcher.
The
Just for a day.
The Grim Reaper is going
They're
to
gonna
come
just
visit
go visit the butcher just for a day.
just for a day.
Yeah, just a day.
Short visit.
They're the next group, and we want to see them put on a lot of fat.
How do you fatten them up?
Lots of feed, and we keep them nice and calm.
Nice and calm.
Yeah, so the animals that are stressed won't put on weight.
Really?
So we want them nice, relaxed, and
How do you get them to be nice and relaxed?
We actually purposely put ourselves around them so they
Oh,
get
really?
used to a human.
Yeah.
If they're not used to a human and you come in and feed them, you'll freak them out.
Okay. Yeah.
So 4 times, 5 times a day, we come down and just be in their presence.
I
And
see.
they're like, oh yeah, that guy's not going to eat me. Well, not yet. Yeah. Eventually, but not today. So that's one of my favorite things.
There you go.
So eventually and then they get to the point where they're calm.
Yeah.
Right. So and then they'll eat.
I
and they'll
see.
put on weight. This is the first place they come after they've been away from their mom, which is also really stressful for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if they're boys, between that upper room and this lower room, we have to castrate them because they'll breed their sisters.
Okay.
And we don't want pigs running around with 5 eyeballs and 3 arms.
Oh,
That's
that's
what'll
right.
happen
Yeah.
if because they cycle so rapidly at 3 litters a year. You could easily, if you didn't control any of your breeding with pigs, you could easily have all this crossbreeding and weird stuff going on very quickly.
I see.
So we just castrate all the boys, and then we don't change sows, we change boars to keep the bloodlines pure. Make sense? So we don't get any inbreeding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here's another bones.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Like I said, there's cats. We have wild cats that live up here. There's bears all over the place. So
Yeah.
things are getting chased down and recycled all the time,
Yeah.
including some of our chickens.
The chicken?
Yeah, we lose a couple chickens a week just because, well, everybody's got to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And this is basically a chicken butcher unit. We set up a couple tents here, and the chickens get, we have stainless steel tables, so we get everything all washed down and clean.
Yeah, and then
Although you're not
that's
allowed
the
to eat
further.
chicken raw, so it doesn't really matter if you contaminate it because it's going to get cooked.
Right,
But
yeah.
you still want to be as careful as you can. And so,
Yeah.
well, first they get killed. This is called a killing cone. So they go in here upside down with their head out.
Yeah.
And then you cut their throats, and then they bleed all the blood out.
Oh no. But
And
do you do anything with the blood or no?
No, chicken blood tends not to be very good or
Okay.
useful. I mean, we'll compost it, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go into a scalder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 41 degrees.
141 degree water.
Yeah.
Hot boiling water.
Well, it's
Well,
141.
it's 141, so it's not boiling. 212 would be boiling.
Okay.
So hot
Yeah.
water.
So what we do is we've got a stove there and then a thermometer, and we just regulate the water temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dunk them for 3 to 5 minutes, something like that. And then you can pull a feather out, they're ready to go, and then they go in a plucker. So it's,
And it spin. That thing spin, or
Yeah.
how does the plug?
so the way it works is this spins right down here,
Yeah.
and then all these fingers tear the feathers out.
It doesn't tear the skin or anything.
No.
Interesting.
No, all the feathers come out, and you spray a hose while you're doing it, and then
Yeah.
the feathers come out the bottom of it. There's a little hole right here where all the feathers
Oh
come out.
wow! Look at that, huh?
And then they go to the evisceration table, which is right over here. So we have water pressure on here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's little tiny holes in the bottom of this.
Okay.
So Bernoulli's principle, right? Pressure and volume are inversely proportional. So a lot of volume, very small little hole, it shoots out a little water jet, and it looks like a fan.
Yeah.
You just make these out of PVC pipe. And it pushes like a fan. It's like a sheet of water. So when you're cleaning your chicken, it just washes down. It's just like cleaning a fish in the river.
Oh.
And then everything goes down there. Goes through that little hole. There's a drainer there. We catch all the effluent, all the guts. We put that together and give it to the pigs because they love that stuff.
They
we
do.
don't. And then at the end of it, we have a table for doing quality control. So we have one guy. There's like 5 people that do this. So, and you can do a whole batch of chickens like in a day. And we have one last person does quality control, and then they go into an ice cooler, and we pack ice into the cavity. Because the quicker you get it cooled down, the longer it'll stay fresh. And then we have a walk-in freezer, and we put them all in the freezer. And they go to California to go to our customers, or stay here at the ranch and get used.
Now, how many cows do you have?
Oh, just a little over 100.
Oh, where are they?
Oh, they're on the back side in the additional. So they're on the other side of this hill right here.
Oh, because I only saw 2 at the ranch. The mommy cow and baby cow.
Oh yeah, that's a heifer we brought in because she hasn't gotten her tags yet.
Oh, okay.
These are
What
this
is
is a
it?
branding stove.
Okay.
So this is our cattle brand. So
Yeah.
if you're reading it correctly, it'll be an S with an upside down R and an arc.
What does that do when you do that? Just to know that they belong to here or what?
Yeah, so that's so nobody steals your cows.
Okay.
And then there's one for calves and there's one for cows.
Okay. And that's
so-
that's painful though, right? When you do that.
Now they got 3 millimeter thick skin.
Oh, okay.
So by comparison, we're less than a half or something.
Yeah.
We're measured in microns. So they've got it's like having a leather jacket on all the time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then when we brand a calf, a lot of people say, oh, they're going to remember that all their life. And I hate to be gross or vulgar, but a lot of young, you can talk to men and say, hey, do you remember when you were circumcised? And they're going to say, no, I was 2 days old, right? So probably painful, but it was done and it's over. So
Right. Yeah.
anyhow, what you do is you put a propane torch in that end, and then it burns, and then you regulate the heat with this right here, so you can let more out or keep in more heat, depending on how hot you want the irons. You want the irons hot because it'll burn the nerves right away. And then we have a certain place we have to put it, and we have a brand for this ranch, and then California ranches have their own brand, and so it's a little bit similar but different.
Here they come.
Okay.
Marty just saw David.
Yeah.
Did you see him stop? He was like, hey, what is that green thing over there?
I know. Yeah.
Now he's looking at you going, I don't know, but
Oh, look at the tail. Oh no.
oh yeah, you're gonna get a present. Watch out.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We could say that you scared the you-know-what out of him.
That's right. Oh, this one. I'm so happy. Oh, you are cutie. My goodness. Look at you. You are happy to see us. Oh my goodness, huh? What happened? Oh, stretch. Oh, yes.
Goodbye, SonRise Grass Creek Guest Ranch. Until next time.